Valentine's Day is only a month away, which means it's time for me to start designing a new dog snood. Hello crafty creatures, welcome or welcome back to Crochet and Crochet. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Mads. Thank you so much for joining us. I am a crocheter and I love making amigurumi and dog snoods. This video will be focused on that second hobby of mine, or interest I should say. I make these and donate them to our local greyhound rescue called Gumtree Greys. They then sell them to greyhound parents like myself for fundraising purposes. So all of the funds go back to rescuing more greyhounds. It is a fabulous cause, one close to my heart, because we foster field with our gorgeous co-host and my firstborn child son Socks. So you might see him later in this video. He is having a beauty nap in classic greyhound fashion, but that just gives me more focus to create some adorable dog snoods that I want to send up to them for a Valentine's Day release. Now my thoughts around this is a love bug. So I am envisioning a ladybug. If you don't know what a ladybug looks like, this is what it does. I'm sure most of you have seen it before. Now I want to basically create a snood that sort of resembles that, but instead of spots, I was thinking of doing some love hearts. I've never created one before, so I don't know how that's gonna go. If it doesn't, I might just do like heart-shaped antlers maybe. I have a lot of playing around with yarn to do today to try and figure out how this is gonna work. Fingers crossed it goes well. I will also be testing out some yarn that I got from Temu. If you haven't seen my Temu haul, I will link it up here for you to watch later. But I got so many goodies there, including some free yarn, and that is what I'm going to be using in this video and testing it out, letting you know my thoughts. So I will be using classic ladybug colors of red and black. This is apparently an alpaca yarn. I don't know if I believe that because it was free, and alpaca yarn is definitely not cheap. So I reckon it's an acrylic blend of sort that was sort of made to look like alpaca. That is my thoughts anyway. I have felt real alpaca yarn. It does sort of feel similar, but that was a lot more fuzzy compared to this. So this red one comes in a set of 5. Here it is. And it says it is alpaca wool, soft and skin friendly, gorgeous appearance, high grade handle, and unique natural brush, modern fashion, has classic. So clearly some translation issues there, but that's okay. It is made in China. The content is 95% alpaca, 5% polyester. Moisture regains 13.6%. And then some standards, T71004-2003. I don't even know what that means. You can wash it in 40-degree water, I believe. You can iron it, I think. And I don't know what the rest of the symbols mean. If you do, this is what it looks like. This is also what the yarn looks like. It's got a little bit of fuzz to it, but not too much compared to the other alpaca yarn that I have seen. It's gorgeous. And now this black skein of yarn comes in a pack of 6. So I think these are slightly different weights. This might be like maybe 90 grams or something. No, it says 100 grams. I don't actually know how much this is. I will weigh it later and tell you, but I'm pretty sure they're sort of similar. This just comes in a 6-pack, so there's like 5 other black snoods, black yarns in there. And this label is falling off, as is a couple of other skeins in that bag. So I don't know what's happened there. Well, I'm dropping yarn all over the place. Excuse me, guys. Enjoy the show. This is pretty much all in a different language, but I will attempt to translate it for you. And no, I do not speak multiple languages, but I do have the power of AI. So I don't know if any of you have used this before or how accurate it is. I'm guessing there will be some sort of translation issues, but with Google Lens, you can, reverse search images, which is sort of useful actually. If you're not sure what a yarn is, I tend to do that a lot with my millens that I buy from my local Spotlight. I do like a reverse image search of the yarn, and sometimes I'm able to find what they actually are, because the bags don't tell you anything apart from that they're mixed fibers, which it might not actually be. But there's also a feature called Translate, which is what I'm going to do today. So I will screen record my phone, and hopefully you should be able to see it on the screen. I might move myself so you can see it up there. But yeah, here it goes. So let's get translating. So it says that it is 95% alpaca wool, 5% anti-peeling fiber, 10% moisture regain. It is 100 grams. You can wash it, you can iron it, just do not bleach, spread factor dry, and dry in the shade. It is alpaca wool, weaving quality life, and I'm guessing that's the brand on there. And then it's just the item number, color 36, cylinder number 44. I'm assuming that's like a dye lot. But yeah, so that is the details about that yarn. I'm gonna quickly weigh the red yarn just so I can tell you how much that is. And don't judge me, this is a clean dog bowl that I got with some dog food that we bought for our foster dog, or actually the rescue gave us for the foster dog. But it came with a free dog bowl, which is pretty small for greyhound size, so I don't use it for that purpose. But it is actually like a weighted dog bowl, so I don't know if you can see the digital screen on there. You can put things on it and weigh it. So this is what I use for my yarn. It has never been used for dog food, so don't worry about that. So what I tend to do is just use it as a little weighing scale. So right now it says it is 0, and then I'm putting the yarn on there, and it is 99 grams. So it is about 100 grams, this one. I would say maybe 1 gram for the label, so maybe 98, just slightly under, but that's okay, it was free. So both of these are roughly the same quantity, and for the Snood, I will think I need a little bit more black than I do red, which is good because I have more black skeins than I do red. So it should hopefully work out perfectly. First thoughts on this yarn is that it is soft. It is also appearing to be a worsted weight. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm pretty sure both of them are a worsted weight. So for this, I reckon I will be using, and I've dropped all of my hooks on the floor, excuse me. I like to go big for these dog Snoods because I like them to be stretchy to fit over, you know, many different sizes. So I like to go maybe like a 6 or 7. I'm gonna go with a 7 since it sort of matches the color of my shirt. This is a Clover Amour hook. This is the larger sizes, so it is plastic. I have used these bigger ones a few times now. I have basically the full set except the tiny little steel ones, and they're fabulous. I swear by Clovers, they're my absolute favorite hook. I will not use any other hook unless I'm like testing it out or something, but these, honestly, you can't go wrong with them. So I will be pairing this with these yarns. If it doesn't work out like how I want it to, I will change up the hook size, but we'll see how it go. And I'm just gonna get started crocheting because this is gonna take me at least 4 hours, so wish me luck. So for my Snood bases, I like to start with the neck area and then move on to the head. So that will be sort of the red part of the ladybug. So I'll be starting with the red yarn. I'm gonna attempt to do a center pull. Hopefully it goes well. Not too much yarn buff, which is fabulous, and hopefully it doesn't get too knotted as I try to unravel it. So I am going to be just chaining basically the length of my dog's neck, which I sort of just figure out at the moment. Like, it tends to be the size of my palm usually. So if you wanted to follow along, you definitely can. I also do have 2 Snood patterns for pretty sure it was a reindeer and a frog, which I will link down below for you if you'd like. You can always just work off that base pattern and then, you know, just do whatever I'm doing if you did want to follow along, because I'm just making this up, so hopefully it actually goes well and it's something that you might want to try. So I think I will start by maybe chaining 15 and then see if I want to do 20. I tend to go in increments of 5. I don't know why I don't just maybe start by like 17 or something if it is the right size. I like to, I don't know, it works better for my brain just going in 5. So how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, do I like this? Maybe I go a little bit longer, so I might go 20, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and chain 1 for turning. Now, I don't know why I do this, but I like to work in the back bumps. I don't think it actually makes too much of a difference for the actual snoods because I'm connecting the two ends together. But I guess it's just some weird quirk that I have. It takes a little bit longer, but it does definitely look neater. So you might want to try that as well. And if you're not sure what back bumps I am talking about, so this is your chain. And then if you turn it around to the back, there is these bumps that you can work into. It's sort of like the third loop. So this is the top, the bottom of the chain. Turn it around, and there's one in the middle. So I like to work my single crochets into that. I feel like it makes it just a tiny bit neater, but takes also away a lot longer. And I just do single crochets along that basically. I have tested out doing, I think it was half double crochets or double crochets when I made a dinosaur snood for socks. He actually picked a project for me and I made that. I will also link the video up here if you're interested. But it didn't come out as well for when I did the head section. I think like a single crochet works best for my particular pattern. But you know, to each their own, I guess. So I'm just gonna try and speed this along and catch up with you when I have a little bit of a fabric to show you. I am 5 rows in, so this is, and as I'm showing it to you, I'm also frogging my work. This is what it looks like. So I'm just basically doing single crochets in the back loop, chaining 1 at the end of each round and turning, and then, you know, back loop single crochets again to the end. And I basically create a length of fabric that will fit comfortably around my dog's neck, and then we're going to connect the two ends together to basically be the neck section of it. So I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm also just going to be watching a show called White Collar. It is basically about a guy that was a white collar criminal, sort of like a forger of like artworks and checks and things like that, that then works with the FBI to catch other white collar criminals. I love shows like this, sort of like Lucifer, which I'm sure most of you have heard about. I absolutely love Lucifer. I wish they would come out with more seasons of it quicker. I binged it like twice. It is amazing. But if you don't know what it is, highly recommend go watch it. I'm pretty sure it is on Netflix, might be on other streaming platforms, but fabulous show. So yeah, I'm on the 2nd season. I'm just going to be binging it and crocheting the neck section, and I will see you hopefully very soon with a finished neck part. We are 50 rows in, and I think it's time to connect the two ends together. The back loop stitching created a lovely rib that is nice and stretchy. I did test this on Sox's neck, and I did have to stretch it a little bit to fit comfortably around his neck, but that's sort of what we want. We don't want it to be too loose to accidentally fall off if like he bends down to drink water or anything like that. We want it to stay on, so this is perfect. I'm going to be slip stitching the two ends together just to connect it and make it sort of like a snood. We have used basically half of the skein of yarn. Can you see me from the other side? So this is about 50 grams or like 49 grams of yarn. So exactly half, so I might be able to get 2 snoods out of the one red skein, or maybe just a little bit less than that. But yeah, so next we move on to black once we've connected this to create the head bit. And now we're going to change color to black. So try to find the center pole again. This looks like a huge bit of yarn bath. But luckily for me, it isn't too tangled or doesn't look like it. So hopefully we won't run into any messes. And I have still got the red yarn on my hook. I am just going to change color like you normally would, and then just tie the two bits together just to make it a bit more secure in case this goes in the wash or anything like that. So I'm just going to cut off my red yarn and then tie a knot. Double knot it just to secure it a little bit. Okay, so there we are. We now have the black yarn on my hook. Now what I like to do from here is create a little bit of a jet out, or I don't really know how to describe it, but I want to chain a few stitches just to sort of go a bit further on the head. So this will sit like on the neck bit, and then it will go out a little bit, and that whole section including up to here would be the head. I hope I'm making sense. So I usually like to chain maybe like 4 or 5. I think for this one I might just do 5. I don't know why that works better for my brain, but that also includes the turning chain, so really it's only 4 long. And now I'm going to work back into the 4 chains, skipping the first one on my hook obviously, and just do single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and chain, single crochet in chain number 4. And now I am going to just single crochet back on the snood to secure it, and basically do a single crochet in each like row that I did. Just go around it just to make a nice neat layer. And then when I get to the other side, I'm just going to do the 4 single crochet on the other side of the chain as well. And then I'm going to chain 1, turn back, single crochet all the way until I get to the other side of the chain 1 again, and then turn back. So basically I'm just going to be going back and forward to create an opening for the head, and then just like creating one piece for the head, if that makes sense. But as I work it up, I will show you what I mean, because I'm not very good at explaining things sometimes. So hopefully this made sense to you. If not, stay tuned. One more thing I forgot to mention is I don't like weaving in ends. So something that I do when I get to this part, which is assuming you've ended on an even number, you will have all of your ends here. I like to just crochet over them, and if you've ended on an odd number, you might have had the starting yarn tail on this side. When you slip stitch it together, just do it over it so you don't have to weave in ends. It is one of my favorite things to do. It saves me so much time because I am slow at everything, including weaving in ends. Some people think it is not as secure as weaving, like crocheting over it, which I don't know if that is true. Maybe it is, but what I sometimes like to do is once I've maybe done 2 or 3 crochets over the yarn tail, I will then tie a knot with my working yarn, so it is that much more secure. Maybe just do like 2 knots or something like that, and then continue weaving in the rest of the tail. Sometimes I do multiple knots too, so just won't come out. But yeah, I am just gonna keep crocheting all along the edges to look something like this. So this was the bit that I chained before, and now I'm just working into each row. So between the 2 ribs is 2 rows, so I have done like 2 single crochets and then another 2, like just basically keep working it up until you get to the other side. So I have reached the other side. It looks something like this. Hopefully you can see. Black is a bit hard to show on camera. So I've just got the other side of the chain, which I need to work 4 single crochets into. So I will do that now. So that's 1, 2, 3, and the last one, 4. And then I'm just going to chain 1, turn, and in the back loops, similar to how we did for the next section, we are going to do single crochets. So we're always doing the single crochets just in the back loop to create a little bit of a ribbed effect. Well, not a little bit, a whole lot of ribbed effect, because that is basically the whole snood. And yeah, I think we do usually like maybe 10-ish for a greyhound size rows of that before we start adding some decreases to sort of stop the end from being pointy. So generally when it reaches around the year section, I like to add 2 decreases in each round, every alternating round actually. So like in the center, I'll do 2 decreases, then the next will be just a row of single crochets. The row after that, I'll do 2 more decreases in the center, just until we reach the height of the head and to create a bit of a curved effect at the back of the head. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, I will demonstrate later. So I have done 12 rows of the black so far, and I want to start some decreases now just to create a bit of a curve on the head section. So I have got 60 stitches on the head part, so 60 single crochets on each row. So I want to do 2 decreases in the center, so that's 4. So 60 minus 4 is 56. And then half of that is 28. So I will be doing 28 single crochet, 2 decreases, and then 28 single crochet again on the other side. And then I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet back. So I will then have 58 single crochet on the next round, and then chain 1 and then again do 2 decreases in that round. So I will then have 27, decrease twice, 27 single crochet again. I think I've done the math correctly, but basically keep doing that until this fits comfortably around Socks's head. So Socks is my unit of measurement, so I can't really tell you how many inches or anything like that. I just sort of create it to fit his head and, you know, hope it works out. So I'm going to start doing that now. Hopefully I can finish it in the next hour, because then we want to move on to some love hearts and the antlers. I just started episode 3 of White Collar, and oh my god, the first episode had me at the edge of my seat. I was like literally like on the edge until the end. Oh, highly recommend to anyone that's interested in that kind of show, obviously. But in crochet news, I am almost done. I just have to slip stitch the 2 ends together, but this is what it looks like. Starting to look like a bug, which, you know, great, because that's what we want, that's what we're designing. Would be a bit scary if it didn't, but I'm sort of loving how it's turning out. I was thinking of doing like heart antlers for, you know, because like it's supposed to be a love bug, so doing antlers, but I was sort of contemplating between doing it all black because the head is black. I don't know if that will pop enough. Another thought that I had was maybe do like a red heart and then the black like stem to connect it to the base, so it sort of like goes, you know, the head and then the stem is black and then the red heart, or just doing it all in red. I have not decided yet, so I think I'll do that last once I see how everything comes together. But I'm sort of leaning towards the all red or the red and black mix because I kind of wanted to pop and be obvious that it's, you know, heart antlers. I think it'll look really cute. I also will just be crocheting up some flat heart pieces, which I haven't done before, but I did find a YouTube tutorial that I'm going to try and follow. Apparently it can be done in under 2 minutes, so that is a challenge that we will see if I can achieve, because I am a slow crocheter. So I will be timing myself, and I will also be linking that YouTube video, if it works out, in the comments, oh sorry, not comments, description box below, if you would like to try making those spots for yourself. But yeah, I'm really liking how this project is turning out. It's always a risk, you know, turning something in my head into a finished piece, but seems like this one will actually turn into something adorable. Thoughts on this yarn is it is pretty good to work with. I feel like it definitely has wool content in there, so maybe I was wrong about it being acrylic. It is a bit scratchy, not the scratchiest thing I've ever felt. I've definitely felt worse yarns, but I've also definitely felt softer yarns, and it is quite fuzzy, the black yarn more so than the red. They are different brands of yarn, even though they are both, you know, worsted, basically like 90% alpaca or 95% alpaca blend or something like that. I can't even remember at the moment. But when you stretch out the black yarn, like when you're crocheting with it, it sort of turns into a DK weight yarn. But if you're just like looking at it like that, it's definitely a worsted. Whereas when I was working with the red yarn, you know, and I was holding it to keep tension basically, it didn't really stretch out as thin as the black. So I feel like the red part of the Snood is just a tad bit thicker, like the material is thicker than this black bit, but that's fine. It works up, you know, pretty well together. It is also fuzzier. Did I already say that? The black is fuzzier than the red. But yeah, not bad for free Temu yarn, I think. I am almost done with this head bit. And I think I've just got 3 or 2 more. And last one. And we are done. I have no idea where my scissor went. I will cut it in a second. But this is what it looks like. So Socks's head or a greyhound's head will go in like this. And he will turn into a love bug. This is my pointy greyhound Snood, in case it wasn't obvious. But yeah, I'm gonna get started on the little hearts now that I will be stitching onto the body. Hopefully they're not too big. I've never made one before, so I can sort of adjust the pattern if it is too big, the one that I'm following. But I want them to be fairly small so I can do like, you know, a few scattered here and there. And yeah, I will see you when I have somewhat of a collection of hearts. So for the heart bit, I will be using the same yarn with a 4mm hook this time, just to make it a bit tighter and neater. I am using a tutorial by Hooked by Robin. I will link it all in the description box below for you. And I am going to set a timer because I actually want to see if I can make this in 2 minutes like the video says. So here goes nothing. And we have a heart. It's a bit difficult to see because it is a black, but it looks like one. The pattern was fairly easy to follow, fairly quick as well. Took me under 4 minutes, but that included like, you know, starting the video, skipping through the intro and all of that stuff. So yeah, fairly quick. I am just gonna whip up a few more of these and we'll sort of start pinning them to the red bit. Just to sort of gauge where I want them and how many I need to make, and I will see you once I've got them all pinned on this. And we are done. I will put a video at the end of this of Socks wearing it so you can see how it is on an actual greyhound, but I love how it turned out. I've only done 5 spots because I didn't want to overcrowd the red area. I thought less is more, and it sort of does look like a ladybug or a love bug. The hearts look really cute against the red backdrop. I only stitched the center to the seams and sort of left the side of the hearts out. So it sort of looks like butterflies as well up close. It's really cute. And I decided to go with all red for the antlers and just sew them on there. So it looks so cute. I absolutely love how it turned out. Exactly how I envisioned. So very happy and successful design process here. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it to the end, you are the real MVP. I appreciate you and love you. Please leave me a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.